Are they based on a true story? Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 characters you didn't know were inspired by real people. Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we'll be looking at popular movie characters who are believed to be based on real-life individuals. While extensive liberties are given when it comes to creating a fictional character, these picks were at least rooted in history, helping them become the characters we know, love, and sometimes fear. Number 10. Indiana Jones from the Indiana Jones franchise, based on Hiram Bingham III.
Give him the whip. Throw me the idol.
For many, the name Indiana Jones is synonymous with the rugged, whip-wielding archaeologist adventurer from the landmark franchise of the same name. While many people have been said to be the character's inspiration, one of the most surprising that he's reputedly based on is the famed American lecturer and eventual rediscoverer of Machu Picchu, Hiram Bingham. Although George Lucas and Steven Spielberg took great liberties in fleshing out Indiana Jones's adventures, Bingham's ruddy fedora-wearing look, as well as his love for the sanctity of exploration, made him a perfect candidate for the Indy we know so well, though we highly doubt Bingham ever got launched from a nuclear blast site while hiding inside a fridge. Number 9. Ursula from The Little Mermaid, based on Divine.
I can't stand it. It's too easy.
A Disney character associated with 1970s exploitation cinema? Preposterous! Digging deep into the mythology of character origins, film buffs have happily drawn comparisons between the curvy and malicious sea witch Ursula from The Little Mermaid with controversial cross-dressing drag queen Divine.
I watched that tramp and I'm embarrassed to be white.
The most noticeable resemblances can be found in John Waters' 1988 musical comedy Hairspray, but any one of Divine's shocking roles is fair game enough to capture Ursula's aggressively sultry character. Whether it's the form-fitting gown, the sassy voice, or the trademark sachet reminiscent of the glam queen, it's a clear reminder that Disney doesn't underestimate the importance of body language when it comes to thinking up their characters.
And don't underestimate the importance of body language.
Number 8. Johnny Fontane from The Godfather, based on Frank Sinatra.
Johnny, how are you?
Hello, Mike. Nice to see you again.
Being associated with the mafia is never really a good thing, especially when it's made apparent that said connections helped further your career. Such was the case for Frank Sinatra, when the portrayal of mafia-owned character Johnny Fontane in The Godfather seemed to hit a little too close to home.
If I had this part in the picture, it puts me right back up on top again.
While Godfather author and screenwriter Mario Puzo never stated that Fontane was based on Old Blue Eyes, the parallels between the mob-related backstory of the fictional crooner's career and Sinatra's seem very obvious. This was enough for Sinatra to attempt a shutdown of production, with backing from the Italian-American Civil Rights League, as well as to give veiled threats to break Mario Puzo's legs.
I'll do anything for my Godfather, you know that.
Number 7. Lieutenant Vincent Hanna and Neel McCauley from Heat, based on Detective Chuck Adamson and Neel McCauley.
Don't let yourself get attached to anything you are not willing to walk out on in 30 seconds flat if you feel the heat around the corner.
1995's epic team-up of Robert De Niro and Al Pacino in the movie Heat, a daring heist thriller featuring intense action sequences, almost seemed too good to be true. However, more charm lay in the intricate handling of the respective roles of villain and hero for the two Oscar-winning actors. The film is loosely based on a 1960s investigation and pursuit of a real-life thief named Neel McCauley by Chicago PD officer Chuck Adamson. Many details from the film, including the famous coffee shop scene featuring the two iconic characters, really happened and was added in courtesy of Adamson, who served as a technical advisor to director Michael Mann during Heat's production.
What do you say I buy you a cup of coffee?
Number 6. Travis Bickle from Taxi Driver, based on Arthur Bremer.
I'm no cop, man.
While Taxi Driver has the legacy of being one of the influences for the assassination attempt of President Ronald Reagan, it's less widely known that the film's anti-hero, Travis Bickle, is based off another would-be assassin. Arthur Bremer, an unemployed criminal with severe issues, shot and wounded Democratic presidential candidate George Wallace after a failed attempt at assassinating Richard Nixon in 1972. Screenwriter Paul Schrader didn't deviate too far from Bremer in his characterization of the taxi-driving vigilante. Similarities include Bremer's relationship with an underage girl, pornographic obsessions, as well as an abnormal haircut that inspired Bickle's eventual mohawk look at the film's conclusion. Number 5. Francis Frank Costello from The Departed, based on James Whitey Bulger.
All them people had to die for me to be me.
Aside from sharing a name with a famed Italian-American mafia don, The Departed's Frank Costello, played to terrifying perfection by Jack Nicholson, is a fictional portrayal of famed Irish-American gangster Whitey Bulger.
I asked the questions, I got the answers. For money.
Known for his short temper and violent retribution to those who cross him, Bulger ruled Boston with an iron fist. using his politically allied brother and connections with the FBI to gain higher clout, as well as become a working-class icon in his neighborhood.
Bottom line is Bulger has to be caught, and the sooner the better. This has gone on long enough.
Director Martin Scorsese fused William Monahan's script with many similarities to the Beantown gang boss, most notably his alliance with corrupt law officials and the feds.
Don't laugh! This ain't reality TV!
Number 4, Dirty Harry Callahan from the Dirty Harry franchise, based on Dave Toschi.
You've got to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
Yes, one of America's most badass movie cops is based on a real man, renowned in San Francisco even before the release of the first Dirty Harry film. Detective Dave Toschi received national attention for his investigation into the Zodiac Killer case from the late 60s to the early 70s. While he was heavily scrutinized for the unsolved cases, film producers saw an image of a worthwhile investigator in Toschi, inspiring them to base their unorthodox, magnum-wielding 1971 antihero Dirty Harry Callahan on him.
Where's the girl?
Despite Dirty Harry's obvious nod to Toschi, the real-life detective's use of quick-draw pistol holsters was first mimicked by Steve McQueen 3 years earlier in the film Bullet.
You sell whatever you want, but don't sell it here tonight.
Number 3, Jeffrey the Dude Lebowski from the Big Lebowski, based on Jeff Dowd.
You got the wrong guy. I'm the dude, man.
Ever watched the Big Lebowski and mused aloud, I think I know someone like the dude? And as a matter of fact, so did the Coen brothers when they came up with this wacky, bowling-obsessed, stoner-turned-dimwit detective in their 1998 cult classic.
That or his dudeness or Duder or, El Duderino if you're not into the whole brevity thing.
The dude's nickname and political resume were both appropriated from film producer and former member of the Seattle 7, Jeff Dowd, whose energetic and peculiar lifestyle inspired the character that would go on to launch a cult phenomenon.
Yeah, maybe they don't take me seriously. Why would you take somebody seriously who doesn't know what day it is?
Among other pastiches of real-life people in The Big Lebowski is the dude's short-tempered buddy, Walter Sobchak, who is based on movie director John Milius.
You had to, at some point in it, be convinced that you had lost your sanity. Otherwise, you weren't really directing.
Number 2, Apollo Creed from the Rocky franchise, based on Muhammad Ali.
The undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Apollo Creed.
The eccentric Apollo Creed served as the main opponent for underdog Rocky Balboa in the first 2 Rocky movies. The epic face-off depicted in the films were actually fictional retellings of an actual fight between world champion boxer Muhammad Ali and the relatively unknown brawler Chuck Wepner. Actor Carl Weathers expertly adapted Ali's unique mannerisms and ability to provoke his opponents through rhythmic trash talk. And while Rocky Balboa himself is an amalgamation of both Chuck Wepner and lifelong Ali rival Joe Frazier, it's fairly obvious that Weathers' homage to the people's champion was one for the books.
Man, I won, but I didn't beat him.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
You're supposed to be in Switzerland, you little son of a bitch.
Let this be a reminder to you all that this organization will not tolerate failure.
Yes, I am here, your worshipfulness.
Number 1, Norman Bates from Psycho, based on Ed Gein.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Sometimes a villain comes along that is so creepy, you hope they could never really exist. Filmgoers in 1960 must have been thinking this upon seeing Alfred Hitchcock's controversial Psycho, in which he introduced the cinemagoers to Norman Bates, a lonely serial killer with severe mommy issues who enjoys stabbing women in showers. Shockingly enough, Bates was based on notorious real-life killer Ed Gein. Along with his complex psychological problems, he killed at least 2 women and robbed graves, using the skins to create a woman's suit following the death of his mother.
Something about his eyes that bothered me. I didn't feel like he was a person I would trust.
Gein would later serve as an inspiration for other chilling fictitious serial killers, including Leatherface and Buffalo Bill.
It rubs the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.